This is not me for children. I did from a quarter of a kappa, and yes, this is an anime Zorro, and I'm trying to make this as a thing. This is like probably a new segment for this channel. I'm trying to find this sort of very specific IPs or very specific books that are very popular, but you never realize this was actually made for an anime. In fact, I never asked for become Zorro in anime, but I didn't know why I wanted one, because this show is super fun. And the fact it's one of the rare cartoon versions of Zorro, they actually get it right. Because usually when they try and adapt Zorro, they make it too kid friendly. The point is so stupid, so ridiculous that you scratch your head like, what am I watching? And this is not Zorro. This kind of baffled me how many people attempted to make Zorro in a cartoon series and failed. Except for this one called The Legend of Zorro, and they got it pretty right. In fact, usually everything you know about Zorro starts the same way. If you don't, let me explain. It's all about Diego, who coming back from Spain for his studies. Usually at this point, they don't explain that much, because the only thing usually they told you if his father and him had a fight, and they father kind of shipped him out to Spain to finish his studies and come back for several years, sometimes between 5 years to 3 years. In this version, they say 5 years. After he come back and realize what's going on with his people, because when he get to Spain, you realize the military who run this place, who supposed to protect people from Spain, are abusing their power, especially the higher ups. Usually it's the colonel and his assistants who kind of takes bribes or do kidnappings and sort of rig basically the government to his favoritism, in other words. So that's what Diego decided to become Zorro. They never need to explain it. You know why, you see him dressed, why, and he does action. But I love it, this version doesn't do the same mistake with the other versions of Zorro, that they try to attempt to explain a lot, but sometimes Zorro works better than not need be explained. You just show it. You see Diego reaction and discuss what the military are doing to Los Angeles, and you see why he becomes Zorro. Of course, you have this sort of kind of Spider-Man effect, that kind of Peter Parker, that people think Diego is a coward, he had to run away, but at the same time you realize, yeah, he had to run away so he could protect his identity. Usually that's sort of a cliche, but Zorro is the cliche, one of the few beginning ones who made the cliche popular. But you look at it, they actually execute properly. Usually the other versions of Zorro, they did it too much to the point it's just ridiculous. But this one, they don't need to explain it. They rely on the people who watch this show to understand what's going on. They respect the audience, and I respect them. That's why I love this type of shows, because they understand the audience. They don't need to overcomplicate things. On top of this is not a show that's black and white, good versus evil. They actually throw a lot of great things on it. For example, first Sergeant Gonzalez, who usually is a mainstay of Zorro franchise. He usually is the big guy who has a mustache. He's kind of lazy and incompetent, but at the end, he's not an evil person. He worked in the military, he listened to the commands, he does it. But at the end, he does question the higher ups, like why we should do it. This doesn't make sense, but he still does it because it's his job. He's not evil or incompetent, and sometimes he just doesn't want to do it. In fact, you can explain why Gonzalez is fat, because he eats his feelings, because he doesn't like what he does. He knows this is wrong, but he does it, but he doesn't understand why he has to do it. But in the end, Gonzalez of this version does become a better man. At the very end, he shows he loves his people, he loves he's working in the military, and proves not all military people are bad. I mean, that's why I love this sort of gray areas, to show, yeah, the world is not perfect. Besides that, the whole show is a really fun kind of slash-buckler kind of fight, but kind of weird. I mean, they're trying to shove this sort of action-packed kind of things, like when Zorro transforms to Zorro, and you just like, why he's transforming and why he has boom, explosion every time he wears his shirt, his gloves, his mask, and his hat. It's sort of weird. It's like kind of funny. Of course, I understand what I'm trying to do, trying to kind of wake the audience to this great action fighting scene. But at the end, it's sort of weird. He transforms, especially he doesn't wear his uniform all the time. He doesn't have a bag carrying all the time or anything. It just, yeah, he apparently has everything on the spot without using any bags or anything like that. So it's kind of odd. Especially all the physics and fighting they do. There are moments like, they say Zorro has a horse, then the horse jump like about 10 feet down. It's like a cliff. It's very long, I mean not long, very far cliff. It's like 10 feet. And the horse landed on his feet when he jumped. But logically, when the horse jumped, he should have been splat all over the floor in pieces. No, the horse is okay with Zorro like riding him. It was like, that doesn't make sense. But that's kind of telling you, yeah, this show should not take serious. When you see Zorro jump like 4 feet high, you're just like, no person can jump that high. But at the same time, okay, you have to let go of common sense. This is all about the funness. Not all the time. They do take it serious. They usually drop the logic and make it interesting and real. For example, there's one episode they have a friend who dies because he ran out of the military and the colonel. So the colonel is that bitter. He doesn't want them to bury him. So they stop the people making this kind of funeral for the friend. But the colonel stops that for purely because no, he's a rebel. He should be not given separate a funeral. But the people ask him, well, he's a dead guy. Everybody deserves a funeral. And you have this kind of very weird gray area that, yeah, that's kind of horrible. You have to respect the people, but the colonel doesn't want to because he's that horrible. And that's the thing, the show does not let you go. The colonel is very bad. I mean, the colonel almost shot a child, poisoned a lake, trying to blame Diego's father, the Gonzalez. I mean, he does so many horrible things. Even no more criminals point out, yeah, I was trying to steal this, but what you do, bro, you're a monster. I mean, I can't compare to you. It's just really fucked up. And that is pretty in the interesting thing about this series. They go real sometimes. They don't need to because it's a fun show, but they do it to establish the character and the situation. Yeah, I kind of surprised they do this. They actually do kill people on this series, especially very minor characters they don't really need, so they kill them off. Also, Zorro is not invisible this version. He does get hurt, he does get stabbed, he needs to recover. And once more, they're trying to keep that realness and the ridiculousness at the same time, and they know how to balance it. I mean, not all the time. There are times you just roll your eyes like, okay, I guess I have to lose my common sense for this episode and to enjoy it. Yeah, I do. It's one of those things that's just kind of fun. I mean, you don't need to watch every single episode. I have to recommend it. Watch the first 2 episodes and skip around episode 16. That's where the arc of the Scorpion Gang starts. So today I think we really starts kind of connecting, trying to make an arc, and it works. To the very end, to how the colonel fall and be defeated by Zorro. This have basically a fun swashbuckler kind of anime, and it respects Zorro and respects the audience to enjoy it, not to take it that serious, but also to have fun with it. So that's the reason I kind of surprised this anime works, because it understands Zorro and enjoys it. You know how to have fun, and you know how to take serious when it needs to. All of that, I just recommend it. I got nothing else to say. Just maybe one question: do you know Zorro was an anime? Do you actually saw it? Do you know it? What was the thing you just enjoy anime Zorro? You think it's good or not? Comment down below. I got nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.